Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so we're back here again on a Sunday night with another one of our live PC builds. So tonight we're going to be building Jarrad's PC. So Jarrad hit me up only a few days ago actually. I'm actually waiting on parts for a couple of people's builds. And one graphics card has taken bloody ages to get here.
They say one day and then the next day changes.
I said like the customer in question, he's been sent the tracking link for the card, so he knows when I'm actually going to get a hold of it. But man, it's taken its time. It has taken its sweet ass time. But anyway, that worked out for Jarrad, because it means Jarrad can get his PC built tonight, because I've got all of his stuff ready to go right now. So happy days. So let's get stuck into it. We've got the Ryzen 5600 6-core 12-thread CPU. We've got an MSI B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi motherboard. We have a 32GB kit of Corsair Vengeance memory. We have a 1TB SSD around here somewhere. We have the RTX 3070 Ti. We've got a 750-watt power supply. We've got a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler, and we've got the Antec D700 flux case. Hey Jarrad, how you going? So yeah, this is Jarrad's PC that we're building here tonight. So
Darren says good morning, hi from UK.
Hey Darren, how you going? Good to have you here as always. Probably our furthest.
Hopefully you have a happy Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good Sunday for you.
And it's nice and sunny.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too miserable. I mean, around this time of year in the UK, the rain and the cloudy weather normally begins.
My cousin's just gotten home from London and all their photos is dark and gloomy.
Yep. That's typical autumn in the UK, unfortunately. I have family in the UK. I know what UK is like. I've never been there though. I've been to North America, but I haven't been to Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously I do plan on going there at some stage. But yes, I've driven around Australia twice, so I'm very, very familiar with Australia. So no matter where you are in Australia, pretty much, I've probably been there.
Darren says no raining.
No raining? Oh, that's nice. Nice sunny Sunday. But yes, we're getting, in our part of the world here in Australia, we've got a La Nina occurring.
Unseasonable rain. It's meant to be dry at the moment.
So basically in the Pacific Ocean region, if you're not from around this part of the world, you basically have a cycle as to where warm water in the Pacific Ocean ends up like congregating, for lack of a better word. And you basically have what's called the El Nino or boy child effect, or the La Nina or girl child effect. It's something that's come from South America. That was obviously the meteorologists that came up with the concept, and now it gets tracked. And basically, whenever we get a La Nina, it means that we get a heap of rainfall here in Australia over summer. And so it's starting again for like multiple years in a row now. So we're going to have some very wet conditions.
Indian Ocean.
Yes, there's also a similar kind of cycle in the Indian Ocean as well that also sort of dictates how much rain we get.
Yeah, so
it's more important for the western and southern part of Australia, whereas we're sort of halfway up the east coast here in southeast Queensland, so we don't have as strong an effect from the IOD, which is the Indian Ocean version. But yes. So I just put the M.2 drive in, so obviously on this motherboard we've got dual M2 slots. We're going to leave the top one spare there, so if Jarrad wants to put in another M2 SSD, way easier. So the graphics card will be slotted into this slot here, so this slot here will be just above it, so you'll be able to get your screwdriver in there and just remove those 2 bolts and plug another high-speed SSD into the motherboard. And so we got our CPU in, our Ryzen 5600. Excellent price on Ryzen CPUs. Just not the new ones.
No, they're freaking expensive.
Very,
Might
very
as well sell your kidney.
Yeah.
The same with the new graphics cards.
The problem is, right, like, you know, when a new generation of like Intel CPU is released, you get the like Intel fanboy club, and they're usually fairly cashed up, and they'll spend big bucks for that new generation, whereas the AMD fans, they're more budget conscious in general. So that's probably partly to blame, but the other reason why people aren't upgrading is because you don't need to. The current generation, well, Ryzen 5000 CPUs are still really good, and they still pair nicely with even 40 series. So alrighty, so we have our CPU, our memory, and our SSD installed. So it's time now to get this cooler sorted.
Do you have a modular power supply?
It's a semi-modular power supply.
So, is a semi... It's probably going to be a stupid question, but semi-modular, does that mean it's got like the CPU and motherboard connectors?
Permanently attached.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the rest of them
Yes.
connect, even
Yeah.
the GPU one?
Yeah, it's usually if a power supply is semi-modular, it normally means that the motherboard power and the CPU power are permanently connected, and then all the other cables are basically optional. So that's basically how it works
That's
out.
what I thought, but I've never asked the question. So
No,
I was like,
no. So that's all it is. So it makes a fair bit of sense.
Yeah, because you definitely...
Because they're the two things that you have to plug in. You have to plug in the CPU, you have to plug in the motherboard.
Yeah,
You don't necessarily
need the GPU.
yeah, you don't necessarily need the GPU ones.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I should have some Corsair bolts already open here, ready to go. So I need to swap this cooler bracket over from the Intel bracket to the AMD bracket. Alrighty. And so that'll just clip on like that. door mounted. Very good. And then we also need our USB cable so we can address the lighting, because we don't want to be stuck with just one lighting mode. That would be a bit shit. Alrighty, so our radiator is going to sit in the case just like this. So just need to make sure that our cables are down this side of the radiator. Yeah. Hey John, how you going?
How are you?
Good to have you with us. Not very exciting. Everyone wants me to do a 4090, but like someone has.
Nobody's bought one.
No one's bought one yet.
We did ask you, Mark, the other day, and like a few have bought them.
They've been selling them. People coming along and buying
Yeah,
them.
but they've been nutties.
Yeah. The new guy at Newmark reckons that the people buying the cards are a bit special.
Yeah, he actually kind of reminds me of you.
He reminds me of me. He reminds you of me.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
just his attitude. And
I guess. Yeah.
I think you two are around the same age.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway.
No, everyone's. See, I think I've got a few customers who are interested, but they know enough to know that they shouldn't buy it like immediately at launch. They should wait a little while.
Yeah,
And then there's a lot of people who are also waiting to get the 4080 when it comes out, because it'll be a better price performance option.
Yeah.
So that's
been pushed back, hasn't it?
No. So they were going to be releasing a 4080 16 gigabyte and 4080 12 gigabyte, but they're not going to. It's not going to be called the 4080 12 gigabyte. It's going to be like the 4070 or something now, because they've actually got 3 different GPUs, so they may as well go with 3 different card names. Yeah.
Jarrad says getting so keen, but will there be any spots like this little gaming fear and stops?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'll have it all nice and clean and unobstructed under the graphics card there for you. So you'll be able to mount anything you want down there. You could put a figurine in there. You can put a little panel in there if you want. Yeah, you can do lots of stuff.
So yeah, there's like plenty of room down here. You can fit two fans.
Plenty of
down
room.
one
There won't be
down.
any cables obstructing anything down
Three
there. So
fans at the top there.
sweet. Alrighty.
I can see a perfect tunnel to put the like a figurine on.
Yep. Yeah.
Jarrad says great to hear. Thanks, brother.
No worries. And so yeah, you got a 750 watt power supply here, so this is a little bit more than what you need for 3070 Ti. So if you find yourself a cheap 3080 or 3080 Ti, you can drop that into your computer and plug it into this power supply, and you have enough juice for it. You don't have to worry about, oh shit, do I have enough juice for a 3080? A lot of people go 850 minimum with a 3080, but you can actually get away with 750. So, just saying. 850s generally cost you a lot more these days than a 750. And so yeah, semi-modular, so like I said, it's got the CPU and the motherboard, the two essential things that you have to hook up on every PC. And then the other ones there are cables that we can just plug in if we need them. And in our case, we're going to definitely need some extra cables here. So we need both of our graphics card power cables. Both of them need to be plugged in. You've got 8 pins on one end and then 6 plus 2 pin connectors on the other end. That's what plugs into the graphics card. And then we just need one lot of SATA cables. So I'll just plug them in like that. And then as for these other two, I'm going to plug them in, but I'm going to tie them up at the same time, because they're not going to be in use, but may as well, just in case Jarrad wants to utilize it in the future. Chuck a cable tie around that. Very good. So normally you mount the power supply with the fan down, and so the reason you do that is stuff inside the power supply has to stay cooler than potentially some of the other components in your PC. So best practice is for the power supply to be drawing in cool air from outside the case. So if not, you might, once your computer gets really hot while you're gaming and stuff and it heats up inside the case, it might get too hot for the power supply and then your PC will just shut off. So that's what you're trying to avoid there by doing it like that. One of the reasons why you might not want to do it like that is if you're going to be putting it on carpet. So that could lead to your power supply overheating because it's not getting enough fresh air in from the outside. So it depends what you're doing. Alrighty. So we've got an RGB and fan controller there. And so there's a little button on the top of the case there that says LED. It's actually the reset switch. And you can hook it up to that header there on the controller. But we're going to hook this up to the motherboard so it can be controlled with software instead of pressing the button 10 million times. Yeah, what's up, Dave?
Oh, John says selected cables to the or thinking might have explained that.
Yeah.
I was thinking like very was really paying attention to what you were saying, so Jarrad says, will I be able to run it all without customizing?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I stress test it before I send it out. So basically, I know that like under normal circumstances, it's going to be running fine for you. So unless, yeah, the only time you have to really worry is if you are overclocking anything or changing any of the configuration or something like that. Alrighty. So these cables here, these are just the fan cables from the back. Also, I think we've got an extra RGB fan to go on the back in this case as well. And so that'll be replacing this one here. Alrighty. So we'll just put these couple of screws in this fan here. So we're going to slightly adjust the position of it once we get our cooler, or our radiator I should more accurately say, mounted to the case. Alrighty, so we got that extra fan installed there. And I'll just put one cable tie around these fans here, as opposed to all the little wire ties that were around them before. And you just put one cable tie over here. You can tuck that excess just around the lip there. And there we go. And so now I'll just point out the various different places you can mount extra hard drives and 2.5-inch SSDs. So right here you've got the 3.5-inch drive tray. So this is probably the easiest way to mount a hard drive in your case. And so basically you've got the tray here, that goes on around the hard drive, and then you've got a bolt to tighten up there, and then that tray just goes back in the drawer and just clips in place. And then if you wanted to mount a second drive, you can take that chassis that it sits in out, and you can bolt another drive to the top of that, and then you can bolt a third drive up here where these 4 screws are. You can mount the drive here and screw it in from the other side of the case, and then you also have 1, 2, 3 2.5-inch SSD mounting positions there as well. So all in all, plenty of room for extra drives. Okay, now as for the rest of these cables, now CPU cable, that can go up around the side here, just like that. And then we've got RGB fan, and we've also got the power here for our RGB controller. We can tuck most of the excess just down there, and we'll just need one extra SATA connector. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay, cool. Alrighty, it's time to get our board and our cooler in the case. I just have a couple of offsets to adjust here quickly, because we've got a micro ATX board inside an ATX case. Very good. And I've got a rear I/O shield here that I need. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
It's drained away, but you can't drive it. It's, yeah. Remember the Flinders Highway? After that rain?
Yep.
I'm almost getting airborne. I'm doing like 60. All those like drainage systems under the road.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked. Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
John says he cleaned his bus filter for the first time yesterday and he's surprised how much shit was on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They accumulate a fair bit of crap.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
No. Yeah, don't feel too bad.
We have a fluffy cat that's always filling our dust filters.
Yeah, we have a
Yes.
fluffy cat and we smoke, so hopefully for not much longer. We've got a plan to quit. It involves getting away for a while.
Yeah, going on holidays.
Yeah.
So you might not see us for a little.
We won't be gone for that long.
No, I said a little.
A little. Yeah, it's getting to the point where, you know, I'm starting to sound like I'm sick most of the time, even though I'm not sick. I just have this wicked smoker's cough from 20 years of smoking. Okay. So, let me get a couple of bolts in place here on our radiator. Freaking cable caught in the way. Yeah.
And Jarrad says thank you for answering some of the questions.
No, that's all right, man. If you have any other questions, it makes for good content because I run out of things to talk about.
That's him.
Yeah.
And John says I smoke like a train. don't drink much, can't eat truffle, you can't sort of smoke instead.
Yep, I hear you. Well, like, I mean, I stopped drinking because I have reflux problems, and it just makes it so much worse. And so I got to the point where I was like, my quality of life is better if I don't drink. So all the positives of drinking get to the point where your quality of life is more important than any sort of temporary feelings from the alcohol. Alrighty. Okay, so we've got our fans all plugged in and just tied away up the top there. And then we just have one SATA power connector that we have to plug in just here. There we go. One little sensor to go to the CPU header. If you're wondering about these little sensors that go to the CPU header from your all-in-one liquid cooler, they don't draw actual power through it. It's just to sense it, to get a RPM reading in BIOS. So it's not, it doesn't actually draw any power from it. So if you don't have it connected, it won't stop your pump from running. Your pump is powered through this connector here. That's where it's drawing its power from. Alrighty. So this one over here, this is our front panel audio connection. So we'll plug that in just there. And then we've got these two cables here. So this is for our fan and RGB. So the fan, I'll just run that one. There down to the fan header. I've got a USB 2 here for our RGB control on our cooler. Then we got our front panel audio, sorry, not front panel audio, our front panel connectors, so our power, reset and case lights. There we go. There's all of it. This is like the one thing that people, like amateur builders, really complain. They really find this part hard, getting these little connectors on. And I guess if you don't do it all the time, it can be a little bit confusing. But once you're familiar with the circuit diagram, pretty much all motherboards are identical. There we go. So that's everything plugged in at the bottom. Now we just have a USB 3, but we've got that nice side orientated connector. Yeah.
Sean texted something in Sri Lanka, great work, keep it up there.
Hey man, Sri Lanka. I haven't got anyone from Sri Lanka yet. I think there's a few people from India, but not from Sri Lanka as such. So, hey, welcome. Alrighty, so look, that's all looking pretty good there. We've got all of the cables that we want to route discreetly behind the motherboard there. So we can put in a few more bolts now.
Tim,
Yeah.
Johnson's got a model of the Kenworth K200, was thinking of putting it in my case for shits and giggles.
Oh, that's awesome. No, do it. Definitely, man. Definitely. And send me a photo. Because...
He says he doesn't think it will fit on the graphics card.
Oh.
It's even wide to go with the case.
Oh, that's... Yeah. Oh,
That's
wow.
pretty cool.
There'd be a lot of people who would really, really like that because, like, Trucking Simulator is a game and it's one of the more popular games that exist. So... Yeah.
Jarrad says he's looking up to update from an AORS X570 AORS Master AMD Ryzen 3900X processor.
You're looking at getting a 7900 with the new
It's got
gen.
32. No, wait. Hold on, 64 gigabytes of core set. I think I'm reading that right.
Yep.
And a H11 5i Pro RGB water cooler.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So all we've got left is our graphics card and our motherboard.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, people would love that, man. I hope it fits. Give it a go.
Ah, cool. John says give me 5 and I'll see if it fits. I'll send you a pic.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Yeah, we've got a bit of trucking stuff in our family. Not so much long haul drivers, I don't think.
No.
But we have Christine's is so who in your family, how's he related to you? Just so we get that
He's
straight.
my granddad's brother.
Okay, so Christine's grandfather's brother is the guy who launched Western Star trucks in Australia back in the 80s, I think it was. So he actually bought the brand out here, like when they didn't exist in Australia at all.
I remember his truck. Everything on the inside was red. Like
Oh, yep.
red leather seats,
Yep.
red gear stick, red
That's
steering wheel.
a really popular interior pack in trucks is the red leather. I've seen a lot of my friends that do trucking and
It's the
stuff.
only truck I've been inside. I haven't been inside another truck since. It was a sleeping cabin one as well.
Yep.
And, oh, Oh man,
Yeah,
you
they're-
should have
they're
seen
great.
the sleepy cabin.
They're
It
great.
had, Lego like walls with like, you know, the buttons and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So nice.
Alrighty. So we're ready to get our graphics card mounted. And then we can turn it on and see if it actually works.
Yay.
It's always good, right? Yeah, we're doing fine. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Alrighty. Oh, we get one of these. We get one of these graphics card support arm pieces. Will we install that? Let's install that. We don't like fully need to, but that might be fun.
Cat's really lonely, so what's going on?
Okay, so can I get your assistance here, Dave?
So,
I'm gonna put this in flooring, but I need to hold these panels.
I've got 'em.
There's another one.
Oh. Let me see the other one. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh shit. Got it. I've got it.
And
Haha, sweet.
yeah.
It's John's computer with the chalk underneath the graphics.
Ah, nice.
I like it.
Yes, very nice. Alrighty, that looks pretty sick. And so now we just got some graphics card cables to route.
Yeah, we'll definitely be turning it on during the live that you do. You'll see it. It's weird.
What's that?
Oh, Jarrad says, are you able to turn it on in the live so I can see the colours?
Oh man, yeah. You'll get to see like I install Windows on it. I do a stress test on it. Run some gaming benchmarks on it. You get to see all that.
Oh, cool. I was wondering if you had a trailer for that.
Wouldn't be much of a live stream if we didn't actually turn it on. It'll be like just long enough.
Yeah. You might have to turn it at maybe some sort of degree of sorts.
There we go. So that is all looking nice and hooked up. Slot that back panel on. And yeah, let's see if it works. Because it's not much point building PCs if they don't fucking work. This would all be moot if it doesn't actually work. Okay. Power on.
Yay! Turns on.
Alrighty. Turns on. Our cooler block's on. Our RGB fans are on. She lives. Does she post? Yeah.
For a case like this.
Yeah, oh these are great, mate.
This is my favourite Antec case
Yeah.
at the moment. I really like the front mesh design on it. It's really nice.
It's really nice. There's a few different front panels that we can put on this case. There's a very small variance in price. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's only about $10 or so between them. So you can get a few different front panels on it, but then you've got the really good chassis that, like I've pointed out, the main features of it, that included controller. I might want to unhook my DisplayPort cable from my PC to the other PC so I actually can see what's on the screen. Alrighty, so we are in BIOS here. We have an up-to-date BIOS there from what I can see. Now I just need my USB drive. We can enable the XMP profile on our memory. And we can go ahead and restart. Yeah.
John says got the trailer and really just.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Alrighty. Get Windows set up here quickly. What's wrong, babe?
Oh, I fucked up the thing because you had them around the wrong way. But I like to have it, and now I fucked it up. Because I always have the Facebook first and then YouTube. Ah! Now I don't know if Facebook's going to work now.
Did you disconnect the stream?
YouTube is working. I'm gonna have to fucking start Facebook again.
Oh, what's happened here? We've just randomly powered off there. Okay. Okay, what's going on?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And we've powered off again. Everything looks fine. Alrighty, so and we're off again.
Ah, yay. I figured out what was going on in that comment section of the Facebook thing. Ah. I thought I stopped it. Obviously not. So
Yeah,
Darren says looking cool.
looking cool, but something's amiss. Something appears to be shorting. That's what the symptoms are. And then as soon as we reset and drain the circuits, we're back on. And then we're going to power off. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Circuit's drained. Let's just do some ruling out if we possibly can. There we go. Alright. So let's give this another whirl. Still the same thing. Okay, so we could possibly have a bad power supply. Could be a DOA power supply here. So yeah, don't worry about don't freak out or anything, Jarrad. This is not an issue that you have to deal with. This is why I do what I do with PCs, and you know, I do stress tests on them. I check and make sure that everything's definitely functioning right. It's much easier for me to fuck around with it right now than it is for me to try to tell you how to fuck around with it, or get you to send it back to me or something like that. It's a real pain in the ass, right? Yeah.
Jarrad says you got this.
Yeah, no, we'll work it out, because it'll just be, it's one of the components that we've installed here. Something is amiss.
Jarrad says get them to refund it so you get your money back for that part.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes down. It's a standard kind of procedure. Not a big deal at all. There's always a certain percentage of PC parts that I'll buy that will be like, they'll be dead on arrival essentially. Yeah. Alrighty, I think that's gonna get us through for the night. So do you want to share the screen, babe? Alright. So looks like we've got a faulty power supply. It seems to be shorting out whenever the PC starts to power up. So that's what was going on there. If you're wondering what the fuck was actually happening there, why was it just turning off? Yep.
We'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have it tomorrow, man. It's no big deal. See, where I live in Brisbane, I'm right between the main two suppliers of PC parts that I buy. So I'm yeah, within a very, very short drive. I don't have another 750 watt power supply on me, so I won't just use what I got. I mean, I've got my spare power supply here powering it now, and so that'll get us through. Yep, that's saved in there, the BIOS, sorry, the XMP. Yeah, sweet. So just don't mind the cables being a little bit messy there on it for now. It's all fine. It's all hooked up with my power supply. It's like I get like I got a good power supply there for testing purposes, right? And like I bought a good one like to begin with, so I wouldn't have to worry about it dying on me or anything like that. It had 10-year warranty, and then 2.5 years into it, it died, and so I ended up getting a refund and it was a lot more than what a new one cost me. So I got a refund for the old one. So I basically got $50 and a new power supply not so long ago. It was pretty good. I was like, huh, that's okay. That's not too bad.
And Jarrad says it sounds very cliche.
Yeah, no, that's all good. I like a little bit of drama like this because it's exactly why, you know, if you're not familiar with PCs and you don't have parts laying around and can easily go get more parts, sometimes it's just easier to come and get someone else to build your PC for you. I mean, I build PCs for people who know how to build PCs all the time. It's just a case of, you know, if you don't keep up to date with all the parts and all the price and performance statistics and stuff like that, you have to do so much research just to build a PC. It's a real pain in the ass. So sometimes it's just easier just to come and see someone like me, and then you can just be done with it. You know that you're going to be getting something that's decent and all that, and you don't have to make any guesses. So yeah, obviously, if it's something to do with the power supply, I'm pretty confident in saying that right now, just based on the kind of fault, kind of failure that was occurring. And then now with my power supply hooked up to it, we're not seeing any problems with it at all. It's just running completely normally. So that's a good sign, because that means that our motherboard's fine, our graphics card's fine, our CPU's fine, our RAM's fine, our SSD's fine, and obviously our case is fine, the fans and the RGB and stuff like that, that's fine. So the only thing that's not fine is just the power supply. So
Jarrad says insane how it's done. I couldn't myself.
yeah, it's like, it's not PCs. It's kind of like cars, right? Like, you know, cars aren't like super complicated or anything like that. You can learn about fixing cars and all that, right? Like, cars are probably a bit more complicated than PCs. Oh, I don't know. Yes and no.
John says dodgy PCs are us.
Dodgy PCs are us. Oh man, I've seen some dodgy ass PCs in my time.
Oh yeah. Just go through marketplace.
I've seen someone who's built a PC in a cardboard box before. They just like cut out the back panel and like stuck down a fan, and bang, here you go. Here's a computer. I don't need no expensive case. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I'll go pick up a new power supply tomorrow morning. Swap it over.
Before I go to work.
Yep. What time do you start?
3.
Oh, yeah, that's alright. Starting at 3. I reckon I'll wake up before 3 o'clock tomorrow.
I think so.
if I sleep until 3 o'clock, there's something wrong.
Yeah. They'd be like, I'm calling an ambulance. So you do not sleep that late.
No. What's up?
Oh, John says, I'll never forget the one who had overheating problems in the class that was still on the CPU.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's not making that, like, it's not having that occur, making that occur that's a problem. It's not noticing. Alright. So we get MSI Center. So this is like software that would come with the CD that you get with your motherboard, but we don't really use CDs anymore, so we just download it off the internet. There's Windows updates coming along. Also need Cinebench for our stress test. Alright, there's a graphics card driver. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alright, now let's get some other software that doesn't come with a computer installed. Down some custom desktop icons so I don't make a mess of the place. Alrighty, so we set this up for a gaming PC. Alrighty, so those three apps I just installed there, CPU-Z, Crystal Disk Info and Mark. These tell you things about your computer, like CPU-Z tells you general things about your system. Crystal Disk Info and Mark, they let you test your storage devices. So it'll tell you how much life's left in your SSD or hard drive, instead of just guesstimating how much life it has left. It's not 100% perfect. There are random failures that can occur that you won't hear anything about from Crystal Disk Info until it's too late. But general wear and tear type wear on the drive, that'll show up for you. So if you've got an old hard drive and you're wondering is it still in good condition or whatever, you can open it up in crystal disc info and you'll figure that one out. Hardware monitor here, this is exactly what the name says. It monitors all the temperatures and voltages and stuff in the PC.
So,
Yeah.
John wants to know. Yeah, he wants to know, can you get CD drives for your PC nowadays?
Yeah, absolutely. They're just USB drives. It's basically a laptop CD drive in like a plastic casing with a USB cable that you can just plug in, and it's just like a USB CD-ROM drive. And so what you do is they're only like $30, and then you just buy one of them, and then you just keep it in your drawer, and if you ever need to access anything off CD, that's what you use. And then you don't have to have some chunky ass CD drive thing in your case or anything like that, because I mean the cases these days aren't even making the capacity for 5 1/4 inch drives. So yeah, makes total sense these days to just have a USB one. Sometimes people come to me and they ask for that and they don't realize that that's the tech, and they don't realize that we're going to have to overpay for an older style case if we want to install that CD-ROM drive as such, or DVD drive. But yeah, that's all we do. Alright. Alright, we can set up MSI Afterburner here. So this app lets you adjust all the stuff with your graphics card. So I'll just adjust the fan curve here so it doesn't get too hot for you. Alrighty, that's all done. That's done. IQ, GeForce Experience is there. That looks like everything we need, I think. Yeah. Huh?
We still have them stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm keen.
Do you want a roast potato?
Hmm?
Do you want a roast potato?
Nah, you're right.
Ooh. It's corn, mate. You don't like this. It's like, well, can I have some? Yeah. Are you a cat? Yes. You're a cat. Brown. Buddy.
Alrighty.
Are you all whingy?
So, how are we looking over here? Looking pretty good. So here is our motherboard, our CPU temperature, our system temperature, MOSFET temperature, chipset temperature, socket temperature, and PCIe 1 temperature. And we got some more detailed CPU temperature stats there and power.
Buddy
And
threw up his dinner
our
too.
graphics card. Okay. Alrighty, that's all up to date on that side of things. Get some Windows updates going on there. Alright, let's have a look at some gaming benchmarks. So we've got Heaven on high with no anti-aliasing. And so this number here below RAM is how many frames per second it's currently running at. Alrighty, so that was heaven there, just on the out of the box settings, high with no anti-aliasing. And we're going over here. Yep, that's ready to go. So we'll run Valley here, but we'll do this one on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. It's also a more demanding benchmark. Like if we ran them both on the same settings, this one would be a lower frames per second, but we're also running it on higher settings here as well. Yeah. Alrighty, so that was Valley there on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is like line smoothing, just FYI. And now we'll run a 4K benchmark on it. Huh?
I'm talking myself and that's not
You've had 7 dinner.
I just finished a video.
Fluffy cat. it's all good. Just the cap on. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick reboot here. Now that PSU needs to go back. And we need a new one for down here.
I think not funny.
I'm just putting some salt and pepper on the meal today.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks, babe. Alrighty. That's okay. Alright. Some cumulative updates there for Windows. Definitely all up to date here. Okay. So I can't really do a proper stress test on it tonight just because I don't have the right power supply in it, blah 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 blah. I'll do a stress test on it when I've actually got the right power supply in. Okay, why is hardware monitor sitting out on me like that? Strange. Definitely want to make sure that that the power supply is the only problem that we've got here. Because I don't know what it is, but statistically I've had a fair few returns recently. I don't know what's going on. That's a little bit interesting. Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Mimi was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. And she saw me again. She's like, oh, maybe I do like this.
what's conflicting with it then?
Hmm?
Hardware monitor's crashing with something.
No.
It's weird, it was working fine before. That is very strange. Okay, well we'll have to do a follow-up on this one, but essentially what we do from here is we use these two apps here to put a heap of power through the system. So in this case, got something to stress out the graphics card, and I got something to stress out the CPU. So over here in Task Manager, Windows shows us all this stuff about our hardware. So it shows us our CPU and that it's 100% utilized at the moment. And as we can see, we've got our 6 cores and 12 threads represented here. And over here in Cinebench, we got 12 blue boxes working on this image. So this is showing you what the CPU is actually working on in real time. And down here with the graphics card, we've got the 3D rendering capabilities of the graphics card maxed out there. So it's like running a game. So we're basically running a game and trying to render a video at the same time here. And so normally I would also have hardware monitor open. Yeah. Ha! Yes. Well, I mean, it's not normally an issue. Usually, this brand here, the Cooler Master one's got the 5-year warranty. It's normally fine. That there's a lot of different brands and stuff like that for power supplies, and fundamentally, you just go by the warranty. You get a certain amount of any brand that'll be dead on arrival. So, yeah, it's just whatever people's budgets are, really. You know, if I can afford to put a high quality power supply with a 10-year warranty and stuff in someone's build, then we do it. There's no questions asked. But the budget's not quite right, then we don't go and spend an extra $150 or something like that on a power supply when, you know, there's other stuff in the system we haven't spent money on yet. So it's what it all comes down to. And I mean, you can get, even good quality power supplies, like, you know, Thermaltake have a great reputation for power supplies, and, you know, I had a bad Thermaltake power supply just the other day. So it happens. But yeah, essentially there's not much point in me running this now because we got an open case and no power supply. I just wanted to show you what was sort of involved in the stress test there at the end of the night. So I'll go back to full screen now, and all I have to do is return this. So that one can go back because it's shorting out when a certain amount of power runs through it. It's okay for the first second when you turn on the PC, but then as soon as a certain amount of power starts moving through this, it'll short out. That's what we observed before, and then as soon as we swapped out the power supply, we stopped having that fault. So everything else connected to the system is fine. We just have no power supply installed here because it's actually sitting there on top of the case now. But anyway, we'll do a follow up on this one, and it'll probably delay the shipping by 1 day, but that's all good. So, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.